Oh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to be doing some pyrography. Obviously, if you've seen the advert, that's what you're here for. Now, what we're going to be doing over the next few weeks, we are going to be working on a Labrador puppy. So I've got my board already laid out with the stencil. Now this is actually a burn along, so if you want to burn along, you're more than welcome. If you don't and you want to replay it later, then these videos will be staying on YouTube. We will be spending the next few weeks working on this Labrador puppy. We will be doing starting today with the eyes, and then next week we'll probably be going on to the nose. But what we're going to do is see how far we can get in the next hour or so. So yeah, join along if you want to. Don't feel that you have to. And well, let's get cracking, really. So can I have the overhead camera, please? Oh, Phil is here. He's next to me. I forgot to introduce you, sorry. But yeah, Phil is here and he's going to be reading out all the comments and anything else. If you do have any questions, please do ask them. No question is a silly question, because if you're thinking it, 3 other people might be thinking it and not want to ask it. So please make sure you ask your questions. So what we're going to do here is we're going to start with this eye just here. Now I have my iPad with my reference photo on here, and we're going to start with the section underneath the eyeball. And what I'm going to do is just show you how I work. What I've got in here is the spoon shader. It's just a teeny tiny one that we're working with. This is quite versatile for shading and line work. Now I'm using the Peter Childs machine here, and I've got it on a 3.5. What we're going to do is just lay down this section just underneath this eyeball here. Now it's actually quite dark on the photo, so we don't generally do the lines in one pass. You can see that I'm going backwards and forwards a bit. Now you do layer your burns, so we won't just do like one dark line, because what you end up with is like this yellow overburn. Now if that's the kind of thing that you like, then by all means go for that, but this is not what I'm aiming for with this realistic portrait. As you can see, my movements are quite sketchy really, and the pressure that I'm using is, so I've got a scabby paintbrush here, so my pressure is here. Now if I'm pressing into the skin like that, that is too hard. You would be very light, so you wouldn't actually see any indent on your skin. Obviously please don't put the pen on your skin. But yeah, so it's just light pressure and a sketchy movement going over and over. Pyrography is it takes quite a long while. It's not sort of something that's really quick, so you do have to be quite patient with it. But yeah, we're just laying down the first layer onto the wood. And what happens is when you lay down the first layer onto the wood, you kind of put like a skin on it, so then it's actually easier to go over with the next layer, because it's actually just that little bit smoother.
Shall we say a few hello to a few people in the chat while you're doing that?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry, I'm chatting away to myself. I'm forgetting. Sorry, guys.
Well, joining us this afternoon is Wayne the Woodturner and Ward Wilson from west coast of Arizona.
Hello.
We have Copper Our Wood Turning, which I believe is Rob.
Hello.
Andrew from AGK Woodworks.
Hi.
Valerie from Valerie's Crafty Attic. No doubt Wayne somewhere around.
Hello.
Jamie, JP Woodwork.
Hi, Jamie.
Thanks for the shout out yesterday, Jamie.
Yes, thank you.
Wurzel the Wood Butcher.
Hi.
We have Rob from Klingspor Abrasives.
Hi, Rob.
I have Jennifer from Jennifer's Crafting Creations.
Hi, Jennifer.
And we have Sneaks Wall Art.
Hey, Sneaks.
And that is about it. Oh, and we have Clint's at Wood Dancers.
Oh, hi. Hi. So, again.
Vicky's joined us as well. Vicky Bars.
Hi, Vicky. So, again, we're just going over the top of the eyelid this time. Because, again, you can see on here, you've got the really dark up the top. I haven't got a pencil. Do with a pencil. Yeah, you've got really dark above here and then the really dark below. So what we're going to do is to do the darkest parts of the eye first, because what happens is when you do the darkest parts first, thank you. I have a pencil now. When you do the darkest parts first and layer the really dark parts, it's easier to blend from darker to lighter. Within the eyeball itself, so then we can add the depth and make it look realistic. Well, that's the aim anyway. I may mess it up completely, but you know, we're getting there. We're going.
Do a hell of a better job than me.
So yeah, just carrying on with some layers. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn that up to a 4 now. So now we've laid that first bit down. I'm going to turn it up to a 4. Now these machines take about 5 seconds to heat up. So they're really quick. The reason why I don't go in with a 4 straight away is because it scorches the wood just that little bit too much.
And why are you doing the eyes first?
I'm doing the eyes first because what happens is that if you spend 10 to 12 hours doing a whole portrait and then you sort of like get the eyes slightly wrong, because let's face it, the eyes are the window to the soul. If you don't get the eyes right, everything looks weird and you've got 10 hours of work in there. Now, if you start with your eyes first, if I decide that, okay, that's not the right shape, I can scrape that off and then sand it and restart, and I've only spent 20 minutes. Well, probably not even 20 minutes yet. 7 minutes. So, yeah, that's why we do the eyes first. So just carrying on with that layering. And join that bit up just there, I think. Make that bit a bit wider. Now, another reason for not going in with one single line is this is fur. So when you do one single line, what happens is that when you go back in to do like the fur, if I do the fur up here like this, what happens is that if you go on straight line, it's kind of hard to blend in and make it look like fur. So if I do the sketchy motion there, you can actually get that fur like texture. You already started off, you start as you mean to go on. There we go. So what we've got actually, we've got a little bit of dark skin just under this eye bit here. So I'm going to go and just get that bit in there. What I'm doing, I'm actually speaking my thought process, and it's actually what I think as I'm working along normally. So some of it may seem a little random, and I do apologise, but it's just natural for me to, that's the way that I think.
Everybody else this time of day is thinking, what we're having for dinner?
Yeah, that's the one. We're having stew, actually. Made by Phil today.
And Jamie says, Vicky, keep your eyes off my Peter Charles machine.
Yeah, yeah.
Stick to drinking lemon oil.
Yeah. So as you can see, it is a dark patch under there, but it's just slightly lighter than the actual, like the inside of the eyelid, the bottom eyelid there. So there we go. So I'm going to turn this down a little bit further. I'm going to go down to a 3 now, and just go above here with this furry bit here. This furry bit is just that slight bit lighter. I like to get all the bits, all the different tones in. There we go. I'm going in the direction of the fur, because obviously there's, you know, it's easier to go with the direction of the fur, you know, start as you mean to go on kind of thing. So,
Answer to Jamie, no, there's no cheesy nachos today.
no, my son's at his house, so no cheesy nachos. Actually, I think the last time we made cheesy nachos was when we came down to yours.
I think it was. So Jamie was the last person to have the nachos, as soon as he ate most of them to himself.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
He was about to deny all that.
Yeah. Right, so I'm just going to turn this back up to about 3.5, and we're just going to come inside the eyeball now. So we've actually, this little bit here is actually quite light, so I'm not going to go over that just yet. I'm just going
to put the reference photo up in the top corner.
Yeah.
I am when I think about it. There you go.
There we go. But the bottom of the eyeball is actually quite dark. Which photo did you put? Oh, you did put the eyes up.
Well, that's the bit you're doing.
Yeah, no, I didn't know whether you'd put the full reference.
What you like.
So yeah, it's just layering and burning. And then bring that, this outside bit here, just of the eyeball that is really dark.
Jamie's got a question for you.
Yep, go for it.
How do you gauge the right temperature for the wood you are using?
It's trial and error, really. I generally work in lower temperatures anyway because of the type of work that I'm doing. But it is literally just trial and error with harder woods.
So start off low and turn the temperature up gradually.
Yeah.
Until you get it where you want it.
That's the one.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm just going to go in there. And here. The dog's squeaking his toy. So just going round the catch light that we've got here. Going round in the way that the eyeball would be. It makes it easier. Again, that way.
And Vicky's turn now.
Vicky's turn.
What's your favourite wood burning piece you've done?
Oh, I think it's got to be the Steampunk Girl. Yeah, I think it's got to be the Steampunk Girl. Is the favourite one that I've done so far. You get me down.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can show everybody So for those that
That's
haven't
one.
seen it,
That one. I think that one's my favourite so far. I did that last year for Harrogate. It's really weird actually, because I did steampunk last year for Harrogate, and I'm doing it again this year. So just layering in a little bit further with this burn. We'll put the first layer down, so I'm going to go up to a 4 now. And burn in these bits here. I'm just using a circular motion at the moment because the eyeball is round, so a rounded motion is a good way to do it. And you've got different, if you actually look really close to the eye, you've got different depths of colour. Well, it is colour, but obviously we're doing wood burning, which is like, it's one colour. But you have got different depths within the eyeball. Now, the slower you go on your burns, the slower you go on your pen, so go slow, the darker your burn will be. If you go the fast motion, like I'm doing here, you get a lighter burn. I don't know how much the camera is actually picking up. It's quite dark over there. Dark over there as well. There we go. Just going over that lightly because we don't want that bit too dark, because there's actually a catch in there that is not bright, but it's still there. So this circular motion is actually called scrumbling. It just makes me think of scrumping when you were a kid. just
the word
the word.
does rather
yeah,
than...
yeah, the word, not the action, obviously. So there we go on that side there. So what we've got here is this little bit of fur in the corner of this eye. So I'm just about to do that bit. So I'm going to turn that down again. You do have to turn the burner up and down a few times. But you just get used to that. You just get used to it.
Right, Jamie's got another question for you.
Go for it.
When a piece is all said and done,
Yeah.
how do you deal with soot on the really dark pieces?
Soot on the really dark pieces. What if you're getting soot on a really dark piece, then you are burning too high. That's not what you're aiming for. The carbon on the piece it's because it's been burnt too high. But if there is there, you can just brush it off with a paintbrush.
So Tony Peter Child down, Jamie, there's
Yeah.
your answer.
Turn it down and layer. Instead of trying to do 1 or 2 passes, you can do several. Think of it as in turning terms. If you are turning a bowl, you'll take every time it turns round and you put your chisel, skew chisel, or whichever chisel you're using, onto the piece of wood when it first starts out as like a square or oblong. You're taking a little bit away each time. Well, what you're doing with pyrography is you just put in a little bit on each time, but it's the same sort of sense of doing it. Into the fur direction. Turn that up a little bit more. Onto 3.5 now.
The wood turners out there that They now know Kez doesn't do any turning.
No, I don't do any turning, not at all.
As they've all cringed at turning a bowl with a skew chisel.
Yeah, well, no, no, I don't turn. I was actually told off a few weeks ago by a turner because I'd actually called them chisels. I was like, well, what are they? So.
Right. Andrew says, if you burn the tip, can it be cleaned and reused?
Yes, it can. So what I have here is a piece of leather, and
She's not prepared.
no, I'm not. I've actually got a bag full of white polishing compound because that's what I normally use. This is already loaded with polishing compound, so you just make sure your burner's turned off, for sure, and you just clean it on the fluffy side of, this is just a piece of leather, just a fluffy side. And then that's clean. It's carbon free. You can see it's not picking it up. There you go. It's nice. The tip is nice and shiny again.
Means it glides over the wood.
Yeah, it glides over the wood a lot easier. It just makes your tip more effective. But yeah, this tip here. How long have we been using it for now?
2 years.
Yeah, 3 years, something like that. Yeah, I've been using the same tip. I don't generally buy a lot of tips. Just look after the ones I've got. Just going to add some texture in here. So what I'm going to do is turn what we've got. As you can see, the eyes. You've got yellow Labrador on a reasonably white piece of wood. So what I'm going to do is add some of the tonal values in. So I'm just going to turn this down to about 2.5. And just above the eye here, you've got this section here. And we're just going to do that section then, because obviously that's quite light in comparison to the rest of the eyeball. That's why I've turned it down a little bit. Now, we're not going to add fur into this bit straight away. We're going to take the corner, well, you can't really get a corner of a round, but you could tip the spoon shader onto its side and just shade that way, going in the direction of the fur. The tonal values on realism is what makes things look realistic. A lot of people think, oh, it's all the details. The details come afterwards. You have to try and get your tonal values in there first.
Wayne the woodturner's back.
Hi, Wayne. So yeah, it's just getting that eyebrow bit. Is it eyebrow? So what that was called on there? I think it would be, yeah.
Yeah.
You see, this is lightly going down. So just going in the direction of the fur, because obviously that's the way that we want it to go. And then what you can do with these tonal values is you can go over again for slightly darker. And in some sections it is slightly darker than others. So some need 1 or 2 layers, and then others need like 3 or 4. Even on a light animal like this, you still need a fair few layers. And then I'm going to go under this underneath section here. So what I'm going to do is this darker section here, and this is a lighter section, so we're just going to kind of blend this out. So I start in the darker section and pull it out and down.
Right.
Back on
Apologies for that.
the puppy chewed through the mic wire. Oh dear me.
Could somebody just confirm the mics are back on?
Oh dear me. So just put over the layers for the top here. Yeah. Can anybody hear me?
Right. So Vicky said yes, they can hear us.
That's okay then. You didn't hear Phil cursing the dog, did you?
Uh-oh.
There we go.
We're on the wrong microphone now.
Why?
1 minute.
Oh.
I'm working on it, guys.
Sorted.
I don't know yet.
Okay.
Right, hopefully we have got proper mics again now.
The dog chewed through the mic wire. Oh dear me. That's not quite the way it was supposed to go, I don't think.
And Lucy Bundy Rose joined us.
Hi, Lucy.
Just in time for the mics to play up.
Yeah, that's the one. So we're just doing a bit of this eyebrow bit here, just laying down the first layers. Again, tilted the spoon shader to the side and dragging it up and over in the direction of the fur. To try and get some of these tonal values in. We're going to do this section in a moment. See, you've got this bit here. On the screen, it doesn't look that dark, but because it is still darker, you've got all the lighter patches here. We're just going to do this darker bit here.
Andy the Valley Wood Turner has joined us.
Hi.
Afternoon, Andy.
So I'm just going to go with the backwards and forwards motion, still with the direction of the fur, but I want the sketchy movement for the sketchy lines, because obviously fur goes, he's kind of sketchy anyway, isn't it, if you look at it. So just doing that, and just gonna come down here. So I'm going to do is go over that again to add just the extra layer for the extra depth of that. It's back to chewing the toys again now. Little monkey. So what has everybody been up to this week? Anybody been up to much?
Vicky says, Jamie, I think a session on your wood burner is in order.
Oh dear me.
That's it,
Go
Jamie.
for it, Vicky. Let me know what
no.
you get on.
That's not nice, Jamie.
So there we go, we've done that bit. So I'm going to pull that bit down there. Just like that. Like I say, guys, this is
Right, one
it's a slow
second, because
process.
I missed a question earlier when the mics went out
Oh, okay, go on.
from Jamie.
Hold
So
on.
you want to show fur direction with the burning. Will the grain of the wood cause complications with that?
No, it won't. If you've got a piece of wood with that's like dark and light in grains, then yes, it can sort of like be a bit of a pain. But if you've got just a light piece of wood, and if you sand it down to a minimum, I'd say of 320. I mean, you can go further if you wish, but we all know sanding is really boring. So I've only got the patience to get down to about 320. So yeah, once you've got it nice and smooth, your pen will just glide over the surface of the wood and over the surface of the grain too. So what I'm going to do is turn that up slightly, because this is still on 2.5. So I'm going to turn this up to 3, and I'm actually going to turn my spoon shader upside down. So if you imagine a teaspoon, what I've got is the bowl bit on the upside. So I'm just going to use the sharper edge just to add in the little bits of fur just in that section there. Just building these layers up. So it takes a long while to do. If you take your time, the results will be amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I'm going to turn this back over. So I've got bowl side down now.
Jamie's on commercials.
Oh, what has he got now?
He says he's got a Dremel Versatip you can play with. They are awesome tools to play. They are awesome tools.
Yeah.
Hashtag sponsored.
Yeah. I've got you do use the Dremel Versatip, but for things like this, the tips are just not quite small enough. If I'm doing big work, then I will reach for the Versatip. Big, dark, burny stuff, yeah. So take that down there. And just darkening that off just a little bit. Still going within the direction of the fur. Whenever you're burning any animal, whether it's fur, feathers...
Picture of an animal, not the animal itself.
Yeah. 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 That doesn't sound very good, does it? When you're burning a picture of an animal, whether it's fur, feathers, or a bald cat, you know, it could be whatever you want. Just always go with the direction of the fur. I suppose if you're burning a bald cat, it's not going to be fur, is it?
No.
Skin, then.
So your next challenge.
What? Burning a bald cat? What are bald cats called? What are they?
No idea.
What's the name of a bald cat? They're not the Siamese ones, are they? No, I think they're not furless, are they? So, I think
Jamie, save your Dremel lads for next Sunday.
next Sunday. Oh yeah, it's yeah.
Next Sunday evening.
Yeah.
Andrew says cold in winter.
Yeah, it is cold in winter, isn't it? I still don't know. I still can't remember what they're called. I know what they look like, but
Jamie says Sphinx.
is it Sphinx?
I don't know.
Don't know. Somebody Google it. I'll drink the coffee. Yeah, just give me a second. I'll drink the coffee. I think it's gone cold actually. That was better. So just going under this eye bit, and it's actually a darker section again, but not too dark. It's like a mid-tone rather than really dark. So still going direction of the fur again. I feel like I'm repeating myself. There. Hopefully, you say get the mid-tones in. So always start with your darks, then your mids, and then your lighter tones. Is generally how I tend to work. Okay, lots and lots and lots of layers. Just bringing that burn down, pulling it down. You sound like you were going to say something then.
Well, Sphinx is one of them, apparently.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Andrew Googled it.
Oh, thank you, Andrew.
And Wurzel the Wood Butcher,
Yeah.
who I think is Alex, says Sphinx is one, but there are several.
Oh, is there? Oh, okay.
Apparently it's a genetic mutation.
Oh, is it? I didn't realise that. Just layering that. I'm just going to turn this up a slight bit, so I'm going to go up to a 4 in this. That's better. There we go.
So you're burning a picture of a dog and we're talking about cats.
Yeah. That's about right. Yeah. There we go. We can see that layer's starting to come in now. In the dark section, pull it down. So it's really important to get the tonal values in to these. Like I say, because the tonal values are what make a realistic portrait or picture in any way, shape, or form. Any picture, realism, it makes it look real.
And for those that haven't done wood burning, are you going to explain what tonal values are?
Tonal values aren't necessarily just in wood burning. Tonal values are in any kind of art. So whether it's painting, colouring with pencils, graphite, anything really. So your tonal values are your lighter and your dark sections. So what you've got here is you've got the really, really dark tones, so that they're nearly sort of black, and then you've got your next bit that is slightly lighter than this bit under the eyelid there. So this fleshy bit that's like the skin with the bit of fur is dark, but it's not quite as dark as that. But then you've got this next section on this side here that is lighter again, and then you've got this section here that is really light. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different tones just in that tiny section of eye there. Even within the eyeball itself, you've got these really dark sections here, and then you've got this section. There's like a mid-tone type thing. There's a dark to mid-tone, and then you've got the white catch light here. So you've got it's like grey under there. It's not quite white. So you've got 4 different tones, different shades in with the eyeball, just in the eyeball. So, and you've got it within all of the fur. You've got a lighter section, slightly darker, medium there, there, and then you've got your darker section down here as well. So that is how tonal values work. And it is just when you're laying down burns or painting or any type of pencil work, whether it's colouring or graphite, you've got the tonal values in there. So what I'm going to do is go up slightly on here.
Right, Vicky's got a question for you. What is the longest amount of hours you've burned a portrait?
The longest amount of hours I've burnt was 50 hours on the Kraken that I did for Maker Central a couple of years ago. But that wasn't a portrait. The longest portrait I've done must be the Steampunk Girl at 27.5 hours. If you're thinking in terms of like a portrait itself.
And Jamie's got one for you.
Go for it.
Are there any woods you would prefer to use over others?
Yeah, absolutely. This is currently on European lime. And this is a really, really nice wood to use. And I've recently started using some sycamore that I picked up from Yandles, of all places. And that has been absolutely fantastic to burn on. You just want to aim for something with a close grain, hardwood with a close grain, because then your pen doesn't dip into the pith. So if you're burning on something like oak or ash, it's got an open grain, and the pen dips in between the grain and hits the pith, and it burns a lot faster than the grain itself. So you end up with a really dark burn, and your pen's just dipped in. So you kind of end up with a really sort of like wavy effect, and it's just not a nice effect at all. I'm burning on a piece of cherry at the moment as well, which is one of the first times I've burnt on cherry, and that has actually been quite nice to burn on. So, right, what I'm going to do is move over to this other eye over here. So let's try and start this section again. I'm going to start with the darker part underneath the eye, just there. Turn this up a little bit more. So I've got just on 4, just a little bit past 4. Just to go under
Vicky
there.
says her longest wood burning was a portrait of Marilyn Monroe. It took her 5 hours.
Wow, that's fantastic. You'll have to show it to me. Let's send me a picture. There is actually a pinned. Is it post?
There's a pinned comment at the top of the chat.
There's a pinned comment at the top of the chat. We've actually, after much pestering, we have actually opened a Facebook group. So you guys are more than welcome to join. It is at the moment solely pyrography. We have contemplated opening a makers one up, haven't we? But at the moment we've just opened the pyrography one, just for the simple fact is that it's, you know, adminning too many groups and stuff. So at the moment we're just on pyrography. So if you're interested in pyrography and you want to come and join and learn and pick my brains, then you are more than welcome.
Or pick each other's brains.
Yeah, we'll help each other. It's going to, you know, definitely out for helping each other. You know, kindness is free. So just up there, that's a bit dark up there. So yeah, the group's a bit bare at the moment, but you know, it'll get there. It will get there. There we go. So just adding these darker values in around the eyelid, just here. So just layering. I've already put the first couple of layers down, saying sketchy motion again, just going over the top. I'm just going to go underneath the eyeball itself, just there. Trouble's back. The dog's back. Trouble you are. So again, it's normally dark on the eyeball, is normally underneath. So you normally get like a dark patch underneath and you get a dark patch, a really dark patch over the top. Just got to watch out for these catch lights because I don't want to go over those. Little one just there. There we go. Bringing that down there and under there. There we go. So just going to do the scrumbling again, which is the circular motion. There we go. Try and get the darker values in the bottom of the eyeball, but obviously trying to keep the shape of the eyeball. I know obviously this is a flat piece of wood, but when you're doing realism, you're aiming to mimic the shape as well. And do the same over the top. And obviously an eyeball is rounded, and where it's darker, it just means that it's set further away. It's set further back into the eye socket. And then obviously these catch-light bits are the bits at the front. Still sticking with the scrumbling motion, I'm just going to go over the dark bits, but then aim to drag out and pull this section here into like a mid-tone. So it's not as dark as the blacks. But obviously not as light as the lights. So you can see that that's starting to look a little bit more realistic. So I've got this bit here that is, I don't think you can see it on that picture up there, can you? You've got this bit here on this one, and you can see just this bit that's coming down here, and it actually looks as if it's slightly green. So I'm just going to add that bit in next to here. So we've got, it comes down here, so it's just that little bit lighter, but then it's got a darker bit around the outside. So we'll bring that down there. There we go. And don't worry if you go a little bit wrong on these kind of things. You can always take the burn away. You know, you're not sort of stuck to leaving it there, or you can if it looks great.
And how do you take the burn away?
I'm just about to explain that. Okay, so to take a burn away, you just use a knife, and all you do is, like where that little bit of catch light is, I'm just going to make that slight bit longer, and all I'm going to do is pull that down. So what you do is you get your knife and you scrape the flat edge. As you can see, it's just on that bit there. It's actually a little bit lighter than I want now, but we can rectify that. So there you go. So that there then is how I want it. Not too light, not too dark. So there we go. And now we're going to do again. We're going to do the eye just underneath. So the little skin, flesh, fur. Turn that down a little bit. Got that a little bit high, but that doesn't matter. I'm just going to turn that down to a 3. Doesn't matter because we can blend that in because it wants to be dark anyway. I just prefer to put a layer on it first, then go dark because you kind of got more control. If you go straight on bare wood with a dark piece, you get like the black and then the yellow overburn. But if you go in and put your a base layer, as I like to call it, a base layer in first and then turn it up and go a little bit darker, you don't get your yellow overburn. So it just looks better. Well, I think it does anyway. Some people may disagree, but you know, for what I'm doing, it's perfect. So in the direction of the fur, again, obviously I want to keep that direction going. I'm just using the spoon bit. There's just a tonal value. There's no actual detail. I've not actually done any fur in this eye here yet. It is just shading. That's all it is. Bring that up there. That bit up there. Bring some of that furry bits up there because it looks a little bit odd at the moment without its fur. I must say, Mr. H, you're not very talkative today.
No.
He's actually got a trapped nerve in his neck and it's really, really hurting him today.
Right, we have another question for you.
Go for it.
If you catch a piece that's already burnt with your hand, does it smudge?
No, they are. Look. Nothing. It's burnt into the wood. Well, it's actually burnt onto the wood. If you feel this, it's still pretty smooth. It's not sort of inside the grain. You only burn on the surface and it doesn't smudge. It's not like graphite or paint or anything like that. It literally is, as I put that down, I can do that and it just doesn't smudge.
Essentially, if it is smudging, then it's overburnt in the first place.
No, it's no.
You get carbon.
Yeah, no. You carbon doesn't burn. It doesn't smudge. It kind of goes into little balls and like it just falls off. You just brush it off with a paintbrush. But if you've got a really oily piece of wood, what can happen is if you put your burner on the wood and then you get like the ovary burn where the oils come out and then you wipe it away, then yes, the oil smudges, but the burn itself doesn't actually smudge. If that makes sense. Should make sense. So just bringing that up there a little bit more just to get this shape of this eyeball in. Bringing that corner down there and out. So I'm just going to turn this up a little bit more. I'm going to go to 3.5. There we go.
Just let you know you've been going for 55 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool. You bored already? It's not super exciting stuff. It really isn't when you're sort of like, you know, burning real time. Yeah.
Sorry.
It can be. And quite often I'll put an audio book in. It keeps me awake. But yeah, no, it's not super exciting. It is once you're finished, but yeah, actually burning it takes a lot of time. It isn't super fast or anything like that. So yeah, you have to be really, really patient. So we'll just get those bits in there. Add an extra layer in there. So I'm going to turn that up to 4.5.
Right.
What are you
Andrew's
doing?
got a question for you.
Yeah.
If someone is a total novice, what
Yep.
project do you think is the best to start off with?
Something you really, really want to do. Something sort of simple. So a lot of people start with like line art, but always pick something that you want to do. Just the simple fact is that you're more likely to do it. But I always say pick something you want. It's easier to do something you want to do than like trying to force yourself to do something that you really sort of don't fancy. So Phil's just let the dog out again. She's in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm just going to add a little extra layer to that bit there.
Jamie says, Pyrography scroll sawing. Phil, you must have a lot of patience. It's not me who has a lot of patience, it's Kez.
He has a lot of patience for me, I think. That's all it is. He has patience for me. I think he just rolls his eyes. He's like, oh my gosh, she's at it again. So just going to add...
Well, Vicky's got to go.
Okay.
It's been lovely watching you.
Thanks for joining, Vicky. It's been lovely to have you. I was going to say lovely to see you then. I can't actually see anybody.
Wurzel says much more patience than I have.
Yeah, it is patience. It's a lot of patience, especially when doing realism. I mean, there's obviously lots of different types of pyrography. You can do it really, really fast. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. But yeah, for realism, it just takes a lot of time. Like I said, I go through audio books like sweets, I think. So I think we'll finish up here in a minute. Just add that bit in there so we can get it to a point of being able to leave it. Darken this section off here. Just there. There we go.
So I was on the list with the pyro and the scroll saw.
Oh, he was. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think he's got more patience with me than I have with him at times. He's normally asking me what craziness I'm up to next. So there we go. I think what we'll do is we'll leave that there. Everybody's going, phew. Yeah, so what we've got that there, so we'll pull that out. We'll pull it out. So yeah, we have a pair of eyes. So yeah, I think we did actually pretty well to do a pair of eyes in an hour. Pretty well. But yeah, that's basically pyrography. Next week we're going to, if we join again Sunday.
Same time.
Yep, same time, 4 p.m. What we're going to do is go through and do the nose. So if you're burning along, yeah, we're going to do the nose. So if you are burning along, let us know. Give us a shout, socials and all that. I need to move this chair over here now. So yeah, if you are burning along, if not, it still doesn't matter. Just glad to have you here. Been great to sort of join us, hasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's basically it. We'll be here every week, doing some kind of pyrography. We'll finish up this. I nearly said chocolate lab then, but it's not a chocolate lab. It's a yellow lab. We'll finish up
golden lab.
Yeah, golden lab. We'll finish up this yellow lab over the next couple of weeks, and then we will probably have a vote in the group or something to see what everybody else wants to see then. But yeah.
Where's the wood butcher says, I bought a Peter Child machine second hand, never plugged it in yet, hence why I'm here today.
Excellent. Hopefully it'll you'll plug it in and have a go, even if you just burning a piece of wood. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be anything super duper to start with. Yeah, it can be just sort of, a lot of people just start with like stippling and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, more than welcome to say burn along, ask questions, many questions as you like. Don't mind answering questions.
And the videos are going to stay up for reference.
Yes, the videos will stay up on YouTube, so you can go back and rewatch them over again and fast forward the boring bits if you wish. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us, guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.